Welcome back to Farthest Frontier, where apparently we have a couple of problems immediately, which I notice now. Um, Let me see what this guy has to offer first. So he's buying iron at an increased rate, but I'm not gonna bother with that. Shields and hide cost pride plus 4 armor. Okay, it's pretty good. Yeah, I mean he doesn't really give me anything that I care about that much, to be honest. Something I was thinking about last time. Yeah, that's what I figured. So your inventory, like this should be in town storage, right? Like that is why, you know, it seems as if the items, whoops, were deleted last time. They weren't actually deleted. I just needed to actually move them to town storage. I have one tool here apparently, so let's move that over there too. 2 swords, blah blah. We have a bunch of tallow here. Okay, so let's look at the issues we have. So this one, I've marked this building for immediate repairs, but for some reason it's just not happening. I don't know if the... I assume that the builders are really the ones that are supposed to do this, so... What is this? I don't know. Let's just move even more builders into this so that hopefully these repairs can get done. I don't really know why it's not happening. The second thing I saw, although that doesn't seem to be the case anymore, is that for some reason it was showing that we had no fish in our fishing areas. That could have been because we just came out of winter. Anyway, today I figured we would have kind of a special episode because it's going to be the last episode of this year. So I figured we would do a little bit of like a year in recap sort of thing. This is gonna be like way more personal than usual. So, oh, also we have 0 food at the moment, so that was another problem. But yeah, so basically it's gonna be like a completely... It's not going to be as much about the gameplay and more about like my personal stuff, even though I'm going to keep it kind of high level. I'm not going to like get into any specific details because I kind of feel like details don't really matter in life in general. Apparently we don't have any paper here again. Okay. I'm just going to see what this other trader has to offer before I get into it. Also feel like I'm gonna have to do a little bit of a disclaimer before I get into what I'm about to talk about. Okay, let's see Trader 2 here. You are buying soap, which I suppose is fine. We're not... Oh, chickens. We have... No, wait. Do we have any chickens? I guess that is... Yes, we do. Okay. Why don't we make some more chicken? Oh, by the way, we're building a cheese maker, so that's gonna help us a little bit with the food situation. But I figured we'll also buy, let's say, 2 chickens. That's quite reasonable. Cool. Alright, so, disclaimer first. This conversation might get, or like this monologue rather, might get a little bit messy. As in, like, I'm not sure that I can sort of get through it in like a cohesive manner or like a, you know, in a way where it flows very naturally or whatever, because it's a lot to cover really. But I figured I would get into, you know, basically like the first video I ever made in the series. I basically said that I've cured my depression and I've cured my anxiety, mostly. And I didn't really go deeper into that, but I figured I would today, to a degree. Because I feel like maybe it can help someone. Another disclaimer, and I think it will be the second of 2 disclaimers, is that I think it's important to know to like mention that like there's no like life hack, right? There's no way for me to say something that will guaranteed help you or anything like that. It's just like we are going to have very different journeys through life, and whatever I apply to my life might not work for you. So, but I did want to talk a little bit about like what I've learned in the last year and like what kind of happened that made that change for me. So I think some of the most impactful things for me this year has had to do with other people, ironically, because as you will notice when I sort of get into it here, is that I have learned to deprioritize other people. But yeah, let's start with the whole other people thing. So I lost several friendships and basically like a semi-relationship of some kind. I don't know what to call it, but it was like a really weird relationship I had with someone. And losing these people from my life, or like, you know, I haven't lost all of them, but in a way I have, because it's not at all the same anymore, right? Like those relationships they're nothing like they used to be, and in some cases they are completely gone. Losing some of those relationships had the biggest impact on my life that anything has had in years and years. And that also mixed with moving here to this apartment, where I actually get to be alone and have my own space. These things in like combination changed everything for me. I'm keeping one eye on the game at the same time, just making sure that like nothing insane is happening here. Otherwise, we're probably mostly gonna let this episode sort of progress in the background as I'm talking here. Oh hey, this house got upgraded. I didn't think that it would. Okay. Anyway, so I realized that I was being like way too codependent on other people in my life. And that makes sense because my entire life I've basically been living with other people, one way or another. I have not... Yeah, basically I've not even had the space to even step away at any point. You know, like if I was feeling bad at any point, the choice I had was basically to go outside and go for a walk. Which, that's fine, of course. But you also kind of want your own space, you know, like it's very valuable to you to have your own space. And so just give me a moment. I'm trying to sort of I'm trying to shorten the conversation, or shorten the monologue, essentially. Not that that's necessary, because I can talk here for however long I want to, but more that, you know, I don't necessarily want to waste your time with listening to this. As I started to become more introspective, you know, in my own space, I started to deal with my depression and anxiety in a way that I haven't ever gotten to before. I got to literally sit down and face it head on, right? Which I've never really had that opportunity before. And in doing so, I realized a couple of life philosophy changes that I could apply to myself that changed everything. So, let's talk a little bit about depression and anxiety. So, depression... does this not produce milk? It does, yeah. Stocking. Yeah, okay, cool. I think since this is a new food source, we should probably have more people working this. Anyway, yeah, so let's talk about depression first. So depression generally is like a negative feedback loop, right? I'm no doctor or anything like that, right? I'm no psychiatrist. I can't really tell you exactly how your depression works, or like how your situation has led to your depression or anything like that. But generally, depression is when you get stuck in negative feedback loops with yourself, right? It usually characterizes in like ways where you can't get out of bed, or like, you know, you can't really get anything done because your own brain is crippling you so much every day. and you have such a low opinion of yourself that you eventually, you know, you just end up doing nothing, essentially. And not only that, but like yeah, basically, like I think it was Carl Jung or someone like that that basically said that like depression is when you hate yourself. And I know that that's maybe, you know, like an oversimplification of things, but I think it's very true, right? And one thing that I personally I agree with this is what I meant to say. So anyway, you might not. Oh hey, look at that, new people. But when you start to view life as, you know, like you can't do anything about your past, right? Like it's literally impossible for you to change the past or go back and change something that you've done that you started to hate yourself for, or things that you're judging yourself for, or whatever. The only thing that you can really change is the now, right? And you are never, you know, as you will probably realize as life goes on, is that like every single moment that you live, something changes in you. You may notice from one day to the next that all of a sudden something just kind of snaps in you and something works, right? And that's because you're constantly processing things when you're alive, right? Your brain is constantly working on different things and like putting them together, and that means that like you are never the same person you were yesterday. You're always like a new version of yourself every day, and you can literally decide to go out and do or change anything. And so like not getting stuck too much in like what has happened is super important for your depression, or like for getting, you know, moving forward with your depression. I will say that, like, as a little tangent here, I don't exactly understand, like, there's parts of depression that I don't have an opinion on, or that I don't understand, and that is, like, sort of like when your brain is, like, you're lacking certain things, essentially, so, like, your brain does not produce the needed, I don't know if it's, like, dopamine or something. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's something like that, right? And I don't know if that's like a, you know, like a symptom of how you live, or if it's just like a chemical, like a chronic chemical thing that it, like, it results in that or not. But anyway, I believe, like, most people who get stuck in these cycles, it's not those kinds of depressions that, like, you cannot do anything about. I might be wrong about that, but that's just like my experience with people, right? Like, usually people have some sort of major change in their life. It wasn't like medication that cured them or whatever. Starting to run out of population space here. So yeah, we have already sort of established now that you cannot do anything about the past, and there's no reason for you to hate anything. Like, you cannot change where you came from, but you can change where you're going, essentially, right? And then we kind of move into the whole anxiety part of it, because anxiety is where you're worried about the future more so than anything. And here is once again where I realized so much of, like, my time in my life was spent worrying about things that I had no idea how they were going to turn out. It's kind of like that classic sort of thing, you know, where you have a presentation in school tomorrow or something, and you kind of worry about, like, people laughing at you or you saying something wrong or whatever, and you sort of, like, amplify what the effect of that is going to be, even though you don't even know how people are going to react to you, you know, maybe saying something wrong or whatever. And so it's just very typical, like, how our brains sort of we kind of just paint these scenarios that we don't have no idea how they're going to play out, but we paint them in the worst possible light, and we just assume that we're gonna fail, which in and of itself makes it so that we're more likely to fail. Why is my milk not... I don't understand why milk is not being made. Anyway. And so, one of the big things that really shifted this mentality, you know, like, when you sort of add these things, two things up, you realize that, like, okay, so you cannot do anything about the past, and there's no use in worrying about what comes up in the future, because you literally don't even know what's gonna happen. Just do the best you can in the moment, right? That's all you can ever do. And it's all very unpredictable, right? So the conclusion that you arrive at when you combine these two is that the only thing you really have is the now. Everything else is just time spent thinking about something that has already happened, or you drawing up fantasies about how something is going to happen. You guys still have too few builders. That's amazing. Okay. Okay, sure. Let's have 30 of you. Oops. Didn't mean to click that. Okay. So all you really have is the now. And there's a word for this, right? It's your awareness. And practicing awareness in your moment, in each moment, is called mindfulness. And mindfulness is really the key word here. It is the thing that is going to allow you to... It is the thing that is going to allow you to really live in the moment. And so, basically, for an overthinker like me, it's been this huge shift to stop thinking. Ultimately, that's what I've done most of the time, right? Like, that's kind of a very short summary of how things have ended up the way they did, but I've just stopped thinking and just let things happen as they come. Or as, you know, as things come, as things happen in my life, I'll take it. You know, take things as they come. And that has just changed literally everything. It changed the entire ball game for me, making that change. Where before I felt like, oh, you know, my brain being active, or my brain like planning for everything, was a good thing, because it meant that it prepared me for potential danger or whatever the hell. But it's just, no, just stop thinking, just take things as they come. And it's really crazy, because for me, what really worked for me was actually meditation. That was something. I'm a part of a group right now, or like a part of a Discord server where you have these group meditations every day, and that helps me stay motivated to actually meditate. And meditating keeps me mindful. It keeps me in the moment. That's not to say that I'm doing all of this perfectly, not by any means, but it has so like significantly reduced my anxiety, so and my depression, that it's just, it's like I'm living a completely different life. I'm never worried about anything. I'm just existing, you know, and taking things as they come. And it's really been the most life-changing thing for me. Such a simple thing, right? Or, well, I don't think it's that simple, maybe, for most people to, you know, just take things as they come, or always live in the moment. Not that I always live in the moment, but yeah. Let's see here. Minus 10% work to produce firewood might be good. You can upgrade to blacksmith workshop. I would be looking for something that allows me to... Okay, minus 10% work to produce iron. Yeah, this might be really good, actually. So... It might be a good idea as well to start producing furniture. I don't... I'm just gonna see here. So my tier 2 households, if we look at this homestead, for instance... Right. First of all, I need more desirability. So I think that one thing that we might want to look into is a theater, right? Where would we want a theater? Can we place it here? No, it's too steep, right? What's the cost per month here? 30 monthly cost, okay. I'm just gonna flatten here. I'm gonna keep flattening. So that we can place... I think we're gonna have to place the theater here, since we cannot move the water hole. But yeah, so basically that's what I've been doing and what I've been changing. And I would say that, like, if it was that easy, you know, most people would just kind of come to that conclusion. But I think... Unlock preservists. Okay. Okay, plus 10 production speed at buildings that use heavy tools. That's very good too. Okay, let's choose that one too. They're doing a good job. You know, like, obviously you can beeline to... I'm in the wrong menu here. We could beeline all the way up here if we wanted to. This would require 42 knowledge invested. Oh, do we need all the things? Yeah, I think we need to go all the way here. Okay, so yeah, we basically need to choose all of these four in order to get access to the actual economic power, I guess it's called. Anyway, I don't know if there's anything else in particular that I want to say on that topic. I think, you know, like, I was definitely like an overthinker that always thought that, oh, you know, like, thinking about other people is more important. But I've started to prioritize myself. And I've started to, you know, not have any that is actually something as well, right? Speaking of, like, you know, making up fantasies about the future, or what you believe that the future is going to be, something as well about that is that, like, you kind of, you know, hype. When you're hyped about, like, let's say there's a game coming out that you're super hyped about or something, keep that in check, you know, because that's also, it's not as crucial, you know, it's not gonna, like, cause you a major pain or anything like that, but you're gonna become, or get, like, disappointed way more frequently if you don't keep that in check, if you don't think about it. So that is also, like, I've basically stopped having expectations, whether it is on, like, relationships, whether it is on, you know, new game releases or whatever it is in life. I've just stopped having expectations on what's going to come out the other side. And I've also stopped, like, having expectations of other people in general, right? Because you cannot control other people, so having expectations on them is, like, it just, unfortunately, it's just straight up stupid, quite frankly. Obviously, you can try to, in relationships or whatever, I think that most people want to have certain expectations of, you know, what do I want from my partner and stuff like that. And that makes sense, right? Like, because that's kind of why you're in a relationship. You want to have certain things from people that you cannot get from yourself, right? But yeah, even there, I'm, like, super careful nowadays. My god, this area is gonna be difficult to flatten, I think. Might be difficult to place this theater. I assume that I can place it here now? Yeah, I can. Am I really that bad at producing firewood? No, not firewood. Wood planks is what I meant. We have a lot of wood now, so I really think that we should be spending a lot of time on, or like a lot of people doing wood planks. That's because we have like a ridiculous amount of laborers, so now we have too much wood for once. And too little... Look, remember when we had a shortage of firewood? That's not really the case anymore. In fact, we can probably, you know, remove one here. I still don't understand why this has not been, like, worked on, but whatever. Alright, so, can we build here now? Yes, we can. Okay. It's gonna take up a lot of my gold, man. But, I mean, we are producing 84 gold per turn, so... Or... My god, I can never stop saying it. But anyway, so that, you know, I lost family members this year, I lost relationships, I lost friendships. It's been despite all that, it's been like the best year of my life, just in terms of like growth for myself, and just like how I've calmed down and just learned to take things as they come. So, and then of course, like, we've started the new project at work, and I'm very excited about, because in about a month, or a little over a month probably, we're going to start showing that game off for the first time to people, and or like internal people, internally, and that is going to be quite exciting too, for sure. I think we keep what's in here right now for potentially recruiting soldiers. I don't know whether the theater generates gold. I don't think so. So, yeah, I don't know how I can beat that in 2026 unless I have more enormous revelations that completely change my life, but, you know. Furniture workshop, yeah, that's what I was considering. So, is it this building? They have produced iron. No, that's the wrong building. You have not produced a heavy tool yet. Interesting. I think it's because they have not had... Oh, they've produced 2 weapons... No, sorry. 5 tools, 2 weapons. Yeah. Why is work rate reduced by... okay, okay. Let's just move everything there. I don't know whether I have another heavy tool or not. I would assume not. Oh yeah, our vault is here now, which is great. Okay. Yeah, so this is gonna take a while to produce, but I'm excited about having the theater. Hopefully will allow me to upgrade some of the no, it's probably not gonna give 15% desirability. Who are we kidding here? This one has increased desirability, but it requires 3,000 gold. I don't think this is a bad one, actually, to upgrade. Increasing desirability here is a good idea. We want to do everything we can to increase desirability, for sure. This one would also increase desirability. It requires bricks. Yeah, I mean, we should spend some time here, probably, over the next couple of months in the game, to just try to increase desirability as much as we can. Okay, so all the stone is moved here now, all the rocks. Oh wait, it was just wood. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so basically, let's just spend... As long as we don't get attacked anytime soon, let's just spend all the time we can to try to get all of these houses upgraded to tier 3. You know, obviously we need to upgrade this one, we need to upgrade the healer's house. Those are the two big ones. We have a lot of bricks now, actually, or, you know, a decent amount of bricks.
What is it?
You're carrying 26 of it, yeah. Yeah. It produced 65 in the last year, which is not like a lot, really. We're gonna need more of this. Can I see? I know that I'm supposed to be able to see. Yeah, there's still 1,700 in there, so we're good. I'm gonna increase the amount of clay that we're gathering. And by doing that, I can also increase... Oh, sorry. Yeah, there's no point in doing that, actually. Then we can also increase the amount of bricks being made. Okay. Yeah, this building is going to take quite a while to get up, actually. That's okay. So anyway, I hope that all of you have also had you know, a year. Actually, one thing I want to say as well is that, you know, that might not be like a good summary of everything, but I do think that what I'm trying to sort of explain or like put out there is that the only things that really matter in life for me nowadays is whatever happens to me internally. Anything external, I'm not chasing anymore. Whether that is sort of like relationships or whatever, right? To a certain degree, I have to chase certain things because, and what I mean by that, I'm not avoiding relationships if one were to come along. That's not what I'm saying. It's just I'm not pushing to like find a relationship necessarily. If it happens, it happens. And obviously, to a certain degree, I'm forced to chase certain things, like, for instance, my job. But of course, that's also like an internal thing for me because it does allow me to... it allows me to share my creativity with the world. And I think creating things is something that is very, very important for us all. Right? We need to create stuff, whether that's kids for some people or like maybe it's music for some, maybe it's whatever, right? Like you need some sort of like I've made my mark on the world. That I think that's like crucial to our happiness, and there's science to support that as well. A mine is out of ore. What? Oh, that. Okay. So I'm out of iron ore already. Huh. Pondering existence, huh? Alright, well, clearly you guys don't need to be working there anymore. I accidentally clicked outside the window there. We have a deep stone deposit here. I don't think we've found another iron ore. Or iron mine. Might be wrong about that, but I don't think we have. Which is a little bit worrying, but we could have a look up here, because there's... Oh, it's just... Oh, it's literally the edge of the map. Okay. Interesting. Okay. I didn't think... I wasn't even sure there was an edge of the map, but okay. So we've run out of iron ore. That is not good, actually. Well, I guess we can salvage that building then. No reason for there to be an iron mine if there's no ore there anymore. Okay. Now I should have looked at that, but I just did not expect to run out of iron that soon. Of course, we could buy iron from vendors as well, and I think that might be a good idea for us to do. Do I not have a red... I might not have a red catcher. Um, this is probably more important right now than the other one, to be honest. Okay. But yeah, so everything, like, our internal goals is what matters in life, for sure. Like, our journey as people. So that is all that I'm focusing on nowadays, and that has made me much more happy than, you know, going for everything that I couldn't control. Let go of things that you cannot control. Just go with life, right? Life is going to kick you in the ass sometimes, and that's okay. If you are mostly focused on keeping yourself composed, you're going to do just fine whenever life kicks you in the ass. So I think that's a nice note to end this video on. Happy New Year to all of you. Hope 2026 turns out to be better for most people. I mean, in a way, I would hope I have less, you know, personal things come up this year that kicks my ass, but at the same time, it's those challenges that makes us grow, right? So we gotta embrace them, man. It is what it is. So thank you so much for watching, and hope you have a great one. And until next time, in 2026, I'll see you then. Bye bye.